In 2015, a mysterious buyer quietly purchased the world's most expensive private yacht, $500 million, cash, no press release, no public statement, just gone, transferred. In 2017, the same anonymous buyer walked into one of the most prestigious art auctions on the planet and spent $450 million on a single painting, the most ever paid for a work of art in human history. And that same year, he locked dozens of Saudi Arabia's most powerful billionaires inside a luxury hotel and didn't let them leave until they handed over billions. Who is this man? His name is Mohammed bin Salman, Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, known to the world simply as MBS. He's 40 years old. He controls a $700 billion sovereign wealth fund, and his family, the House of Saud, sits atop a fortune estimated at $1.4 trillion. Today, we're going behind the palace walls, because what this man spends his money on, Saatik, and how he spends it, is more jaw-dropping than anything you've seen on this channel. This is the secret life of Saudi Arabia's richest prince. Let's start on the water, because when MBS wants to escape the pressures of running a kingdom, he doesn't book a resort. He owns a floating palace. The Serene is 439 feet long. That's longer than a football field. It has 2 helicopter landing pads, a submarine dock, multiple swimming pools, a cinema, a full spa, a fleet of speedboats stored inside its hull. It sleeps 24 guests in suites that look like 5-star hotel rooms and requires a permanent crew of 52 people just to operate. MBS reportedly spotted it docked in the south of France and purchased it on the spot from Russian vodka tycoon Yuri Shefler for $500 million. Most people will never earn $500 million in their lifetime. MBS spent it in an afternoon because he liked the look of a boat, but that's barely the beginning. If the yacht is where MBS goes to relax at sea, then the Château Louis XIV is where he goes to play king in Europe. Located in the small French town of Lavishly, just outside Paris, this 57-room palace was built specifically to look like the Palace of Versailles. And it does. It has manicured French gardens, sculpted fountains, a gold-leaf ballroom, an indoor swimming pool, a fully equipped cinema, and a wine cellar stocked with the finest vintages in the world. MBS purchased it in 2015 through intermediaries, shell companies, anonymous transactions, for $300 million. Investigators later revealed the funds may have been routed through the Saudi Ministry of Finance, meaning the Saudi people may have unknowingly bought their crown prince a French palace. There was no public announcement, no press release, just a discreet transfer of ownership. And suddenly, a Saudi prince owned a piece of the French countryside. But the most controversial purchase of all? It didn't involve bricks or water. It involved a canvas. November 15th, 2017. Christie's Auction House, New York City. The room holds its breath. On the wall, Leonardo da Vinci's Salvator Mundi, painted around the year 1500, Christ as the Saviour of the world, a masterpiece that was once considered lost, damaged, forgotten, sold for just $45 at an estate auction in 1958. And now, the bidding climbs past 100 million, past 200, past 300. The room falls silent. $450,300,000. The gavel falls. A new world record. The most expensive painting ever sold in human history. The buyer? Anonymous. Hidden behind a proxy bidder. Investigators and journalists later concluded the buyer was almost certainly Mohammed bin Salman. The painting was reportedly intended for display at the Louvre, Abu Dhabi, but it has not been seen publicly since the auction. It simply vanished. Some believe it may be hanging on the wall of the Serene yacht, a $450 million painting, floating on a boat in the middle of the ocean. For most people, a luxury car is a dream. For MBS, it's a Tuesday. His car collection is estimated to be worth tens of millions. The crown jewel, a custom gold-plated Rolls-Royce Phantom, said to be worth $7.5 million. There's also a Bugatti Chiron, one of the fastest production cars ever built, capable of 261 miles per hour, a Lamborghini Aventador, a McLaren P1, and reportedly a fully gold-plated Bugatti sports car worth $12.5 million. These aren't cars for driving to the grocery store. These are rolling sculptures, pieces of mechanical art that double as status signals to the world's elite. And when you're done with your fleet of supercars, you call the pilot. MBS doesn't fly commercial, obviously. He travels by private Boeing 747, a plane usually reserved for heads of state, outfitted with a bedroom, a conference room, a shower suite, and a dining area that rivals any Michelin-starred restaurant. When he travels internationally, to the United States, Europe, or Asia, his entourage fills multiple aircraft. Security teams, advisors, assistants, a mobile command unit. The total cost of a single overseas trip, estimates run into tens of millions. For a man who controls a kingdom's treasury, it barely registers. MBS didn't just buy things for himself, he bought entire sports ecosystems. In 2021, the Saudi Public Investment Fund, which MBS chairs, acquired Newcastle United Football Club for $408 million, instantly making it one of the richest clubs in world football. Then came the LIV golf controversy, Saudi-backed, PGA disrupting, $500 million in prize money thrown at the world's top golfers. Then the Saudi Pro League, which signed Cristiano Ronaldo, Neymar, Karim Benzema, and dozens of other superstars with contracts worth hundreds of millions each. This wasn't just sport, this was what analysts call sports washing, using entertainment and athletic spectacle to reshape a country's global image. And MBS was the architect. And then there's the project that makes everything else look modest, NEOM, a brand new city being built from scratch in the Saudi desert, estimated cost $500 billion, $500 billion. The most expensive construction project in human history. At its center is something called the Line, two mirrored skyscrapers, 500 meters tall and 170 kilometers long, designed to house 9 million people with no cars, no roads, and no carbon emissions, flying taxis, robot servants, artificial beach lighting, an indoor ski slope, an artificial moon. Whether you call it visionary or delusional, there's no denying the ambition. MBS isn't just spending money, he's attempting to literally build the future. But behind all this, the yachts, the palaces, the paintings, the cities, there is a shadow. In November 2017, MBS orchestrated one of the most audacious power grabs in modern history. He invited hundreds of Saudi Arabia's wealthiest princes, billionaires, and government officials to the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Riyadh, and then had them arrested. The official reason? Anti-corruption. The real reason, many analysts believe, to consolidate power and eliminate rivals. By the time it was over, Saudi authorities claimed to have recovered $107 billion in settlements. The detainees were released after signing away businesses, assets, and allegiances. Some called it a masterstroke, others called it extortion. Either way, it worked. And MBS emerged from it as the undisputed ruler of the kingdom. The wealth you've seen in this video, it doesn't exist in a vacuum. It exists because one man made sure no one could challenge him for it. Mohammed bin Salman is 40 years old. He may rule Saudi Arabia for another 50 years. And in that time, the spending, the yachts, the palaces, the paintings, the cities, will only grow. Love him or fear him, MBS represents something that very few people in history have ever wielded. Not just money, but the power to make money do absolutely anything. That is the secret life of Saudi Arabia's richest prince. If you found this story as jaw-dropping as we did, hit that subscribe button, because every week on Wealth Stories, we pull back the curtain on the lives of the ultra-rich. You won't want to miss what's coming next.